Good evening and welcome back to Racestars TV for round number 10, the final round of the RaceKraft Simulations Australian Formula 4 Championship eSeries. We go live from Silverstone National. My name's Chris Mitchell. Joining in commentary once again is Dave Roberts. Good afternoon, Dave.
Good evening, Chris.
It's a bit later where you are, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's still yesterday in Perth, isn't it?
Yeah. Yesterday and about a decade ago. Depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, well, welcome to Silverstone.
It's looking a little bit boggy.
Yeah, a little. We've been discussing this. We think it's pollution. But a really, really tough little track. Very simple. The slightest mistake, huge penalty. Very wide, 3, 4, 5 abreast. And you can virtually do the whole lap side by side. So I think we're going to see some sensational racing tonight.
Yeah, we're talking about 6 corners, 2.64 kilometres, very, very high speed with only really 2 major braking zones on the whole circuit, but plenty of different passing opportunities. But you can't really get a clear pass done without paying the price on the exit of the corner, especially with these, I want to say underpowered, but that would be doing them a disjustice because they're perfectly balanced for what they are. The Ray Racing cars, Formula Ford 1600 cars.
Yeah, and the thing is, they may not have a lot of grunt, but they've not got a lot of weight either, so it makes them really quick. They're like, oh, look at that, right in front, and you're just slowly going sideways, beautifully avoided. Big cloud of smoke.
That's a very common thing with these cars. They get the back end out under brakes and around you go as we ride on board with Ewan Baker during qualifying here. He's currently 6th quickest on the racetrack.
Jack Mara at the top there. And I saw a photo of him before. I think it was taken about 30 years ago when he was 3. I was in the land of Jack Mara last week, so yeah, anyway. Yes, a little bit of sun coming. You can see the sun and the haze there. I wonder what time of the day it is here. I should have that information. Let me go.
Luke's going to bring it up for us here. It's 10 to 3 in the afternoon, 19 degrees air, 19 degrees track temperature, and it says partly cloudy. We've gone for a late November run rather than matching exactly to the day and date being as we approach mid-December. Actually, it would start to get quite cold and quite wintry out of this part of the UK.
Yeah, probably too cold to be driving out here this time of the year. But this is November. They have the Walter Hayes Trophy here, which is one of the biggest Formula Ford events in the world. Runs at Silverstone a couple of weeks after the festival at Brands Hatch. And, you know, people from all over the world, America send a team, Canada have a team. Quite a lot of Australians are run there, and out there tonight is Will Lowing, and Will, not this year, but the year before, he ran here at the Walter Hayes Trophy, did a good little job. So, you know, he's got a little bit of an advantage. It's sort of somewhere he's raced in the real world in, I think now, I'm thinking, did he have the same car or not? I can't remember. I've got a feeling he may have been in a race. So anyway, pretty cool to be going and be able to do that now as an Australian here, go and race on the real circuit. And I know the guys used the iRacing platform and this circuit as quite a training ground before they went. Now look, Santa's racing tonight, Chris.
Yeah, Brant Santa Claus Johnson for Square Motorsports. I bumped into him at a coffee shop heading out to a morning meeting a couple of weeks ago. I was just standing at the coffee, and I'd never met Brant in person. I'm standing at the counter, and he goes, "You're Chris, aren't you?" And here I am standing in a coffee shop talking to Brant Johnson. He's currently running 23rd on track at the moment.
Was he in his suit?
He wasn't in the Santa suit, but he's looking quite lavish this evening here, rocking around.
Wonder where he stuck the sack tonight, eh?
Might be pulling some tricks out of that one. We're dressing right up as well.
Now, Caleb was very upset that I'd knocked him the other night about his non-aerodynamic, unironed T-shirt. So he thought he'd dress up for us, looking very slick there.
He's having a bit of a groove and a dance as well. He's enjoying his time.
I love this.
In
this
qualifying,
is so cool.
You got to dress for the part, don't you?
I think he said he said something like 37 degrees wherever he is, and he's like we can see him in his crushed t-shirt. He got very offended that I had to go in his crushed t-shirt.
Oh, that was the Formula 4 race.
Yeah, and he turned up in the suit the next week, and we didn't telecast, so he's worn it again tonight. I thought he'd have to take it back since he hired it, but anyway.
Yeah, he's going to get the bill tomorrow from Ferrari Formula Wear and be quite shocked at the outcome of that one, as we catch a few drivers making their way around the track. Now, something I noticed during pre-qualifying last night, as I was actually attempting to set a lap for myself, was how difficult some areas of the racetrack are, especially under brakes with the Formula Ford. And I was taught a little trick on how to manage the braking in these cars, is just cracking the throttle open and just keeping the rear wheels loaded up and driven for a little bit while you're under brakes and going through the down change.
Or you can just adjust your idle speed.
Just crank it right up, you reckon?
I didn't say that.
But something that was a bit of a unique trick, I did actually start trying to utilize that while just holding a bit of throttle during the down changes, and it actually did help stabilize the car quite a bit for a car that I don't ever recall it being that snappy, or at least Formula Fords in general being that snappy in the real world, but something that's rather new.
It is. I think it is a little over loose in the rear end, but we're not getting the full sensation that you get in the real car, Chris. You've got much more of a feel in the rear, and I think if you had that, you probably would say it's not so snappy. It's not the car's snappy, it's just you're lacking a little bit of that seat in the pants feel.
You do lack a lot of the seat in the pants feel sitting in the simulator, and some things are translated better than others through force feedback and audio cues and stuff like that when in the sim, but definitely don't recall, at least my example, the Stealth RF93 that I raced about 10 years and 30 kilos ago, ever being quite that snappy, as we pick up Kurt Bond here running still on the retro livery as he comes out of pit lane to join the circuit for qualifying. We found ourselves with 5 minutes left to go. Ewan Baker, who we were watching earlier, has actually gone to the top of the timesheets. 1 minute .390 here in qualifying.
Yeah, the big challenger here is, can anybody break the 60 seconds? Because I did notice in practice that Ben Roberts had done a 60.1. That's as fast as I've ever seen around here. But I don't know if anybody has actually managed to break the 60 second barrier. But they might be able to do it with if they're in a big pack and get a double or triple toe and actually get a run. Quite possible. So it'd be interesting to keep an eye on that. See if anybody can break the magic minute.
I mean, last night I was struggling to break the 60s to get underneath the 61, so I'll be happy with that, thanks, mate. But as we pick up and follow along, who are we actually following right now? Mark Jeffrey in the 13 car, about to start off a flyer. 102.1 that time by there for Mark, to seed 36th on the racetrack. It's good to have an almost solid field of 40, almost 40. In fact, by the time we get the last three who we get to set a time, we will have 40 cars setting a time during this qualifying session. In the last round of this series is what's been the FRG arrive and drive kind of format. You didn't have to commit for the entire season. You could come and go and pre-qualify as you need. It's great to see that we've still got a solid showing in our final round.
And as we can see there, Damon Woods has as well and truly sewn up and is already the champion. So Andrew Gilliam gave him a good run, but Damon really was the class of the field, and Damon's a real world Formula Ford racer, so that's great to see that the true racer, the talents do transfer across to the sim racing world. So just shows you how accurate it's become these days, Chris.
It sure does, and there's plenty of drivers who spend a lot of time in their off season or in between events in their downtime putting in a lot of sim time with cars like this to try and keep themselves sharp, keep the brain ticking over, and not really lose the edge that they try and gain over the competition. As we follow Nathan Verney, the Locked On Banter Alliance Racing entry, currently 22nd on time here with a 1:01.167. It's fantastic to see. We're talking about a whole bunch of drivers, in fact the top 14 drivers, all sub 61 seconds at the moment in qualifying. That's a big effort. Now it's actually the top 16, top 15 drivers, sub 61 seconds.
And I'm just looking on that qualifying list. There in P7, young Justin Schweikert Yeah, up in P7. That's he's been improving all season, and he's up in the top 7 there. Young guy, really, really impressive run tonight. So
Yeah.
he's been missing for a bit, and right up there pushing them. There's Will Lowing there that I was mentioning had run here at the Walter Hayes. He's sitting in 9th. So that just shows you the quality of the field out here. Guy Leach, and there's Ocean Colangelo, the young girl again, who's now I'm trying to remember. 9 or 12, somewhere there. 13
years old, just knocking on the door of the top 10 at the moment. Is O'Shan sitting there in 11th?
In this sort of competition, that's incredibly impressive, Chris.
Yeah, it's really stout. It's awesome to see that we've got that kind of mix in our field. Shout out to RaceKraft Simulations. Luke giving us the prompt here with a bit of a show of their website. I was out there seeing Johnny this evening as he's about to board a flight to Vietnam. Actually, he's off on a holiday, taking off this evening, so he won't be joining or watching the broadcast unless he's sitting at the airport watching it all take place. But big shout out to RaceKraft Simulations getting behind this series once again. And I know they're behind the scenes with a lot of sim racers all around Australia with support and advice with their rigs, rig sales, rig builds, from simple chassis and hardwares, DIYs, to complete stage 1 through to their absolutely insane stage 8 full motion simulator, the likes of which John has sitting in his personal stash at his house.
And I believe you're looking forward to a very, very lovely holiday now that you've just bought a new rig.
Yeah, I'm sure I funded quite a bit of that. We don't talk about the bill. That's what you never do. You never talk about the bill from the rig build. But Johnny hooked me up with my new rig build after I foolishly sold my old one before moving house. Now we've gotten settled back in.
Hey, look, if you find the photo, put Chris's rig up on screen.
As we run down the final 10 seconds or so of qualifying here. Final chance for anyone to try and put their laps in. There's my rig. I'm sitting right about there.
A good-looking holiday.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic piece of equipment. Thank you to Johnny for the hookup with the RKS 03R setup. As we run it to the end of qualifying, Ewan Baker takes the pole tonight with the quickest time in the session over Andrew Gilliam and Jack Murray, your top 3. Benny Roberts was 4th with Caleb Hydes rounding out your top 5 in qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Here's a look at your starting grid for the sprint race. The first race of the night, 15 minutes in duration. Baker on the pole, joined by Andrew Gilliam on the front row. Jack Mara will join Benjamin Roberts on row 2, with Caleb Hydes and Damon Woods starting on row 3. Young Aidan Schweikert will join Tim Harris on row 4 for the Hot Dog Appreciation Team. Mark Lowing, Will Lowing on P9, starting alongside Guy Leach on the 5th row of the grid, with Ocean Colangelo and Brody Shepherd starting on row number 6. Further back through the field here, a couple of names standing out here. David Gallo and the Kittens Racing Team P22. Rob Bowden of the Tanked SRT entry P16. Lovely ones to watch there. Caleb Dawson looking very flash in his suit, will start from P14 tonight. And a little bit further behind in the field, I see the likes of Chris Barnes, another one of the Tanked SRT entries, down in position number 30. Daniel Byrne, a full row ahead of him in P28. We go all the way through to the back of the field to see all 40 starters, with Lockie Capel showing up as P41 as the safety car driver. Hopefully we don't have to see him on track tonight, as we get a whole bunch of Formula Fords racked and stacked on the starting grid here at Silverstone National for 15 minutes of sprint race action, the 10th and final round of the RaceKraft Simulations Australian Formula Ford Championship eSeries.
The first corner's pretty wide here, Chris. We should see them sort of be able to go through their 2 and possibly even 3 abreast. It's pretty daunting opening corner, but very, 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 very fast.
I'm going to say you're a bit optimistic with that, because I don't know whether we're going to get through there very cleanly at all. As we finally get underway, lights go green and the cars break from the grid here. Baker trying to get that line to sneak through. Gilliam's going to tuck in on the inside into turn 1, and the front few cars getting through nice and clean as they head up towards Maggots and Beckett's for the first time.
Oh, 1 round, 2 round back there. Looks one of the Sandgroper cars. And that's Ben Roberts.
Oh no, and Carnage immediately following as well as they try to join on the back of the Aintree corner onto the Wellington straight. And your leader's going toe-to-toe in the process. Jack Mara tucking in right behind Andrew Gilliam as Ewan Baker tries to defend that inside line, hard up against the curbing at the left-hander. And he couldn't get his nose in front. That'll see Gilliam reclaim the race lead at the final turn, and that's going to have Ewan trying to go all the way around the outside. He'll get the momentum and get the drive off the corner to get his nose in front. Mara's going to try and go with him and get the toe here. Your top three breaking away. Damon Woods right behind in P4.
Yeah, Damon won't let him get away. He'll be right on them. Caleb Hides is in the tow as well. They'll all be packed up again. And Schweiker's tagging onto this. That is great to see from the young guy. And Mark Lowing's just... Will Lowing, son, using Dad's account. But Will there is on that pack as well. It's a hell of a pack. And they will all just continually pack up, get side by side, slow each other up a little bit. Then the guys will catch. Someone will break away. It's going to be an absolute handful, and looking very debonair, very controlled and debonair there in the pack. Having a little chat is Caleb Dawson.
Sitting P10 at the moment. He's got a bit of breathing space kind of either side of him at the moment, with about 0.8 of a second up the road to Rob Bowden, who's moved up to P9. Up 7 spots off the start is Rob Bowden. He's had a fantastic run on the opening lap there. Oh, Damon Woods getting all sorts of sideways out of the final turn. And look at this. Jack Mara trying to go right up against the pit wall to squeeze up alongside Ewan Baker. Here comes Caleb Hides as well. He's looking to get his nose in the mix here, and Damon Woods is actually going to roll off the throttle and tuck in behind these guys.
Ain't got a run, and Will Lowing's just set the fastest lap of the race. Back in 6th place. So this is all over. They're going to be like this for quite some time.
1 minute 0.925 for Will Lowing there. Down in 7th at the back of this group is joined by Aidan Schweikert right in front. We pick up on those guys, so they head down the Wellington straight down towards Brooklands, right in front of the British Racing Drivers Club on driver's right as they hit the braking zone. There's that big tower you just missed in that shot. As they dive on the brakes through that left-hander and make their way around to Luffield, a very tricky beyond 180-degree corner, which rewards patience but maximises the exit speed to get onto the main straightaway out of Woodcote. As they make the run down the main straight towards Cops Corner, it's a tap of the brake, a flick of the gear, and hope the rear end doesn't step out, especially when there's a whole field of cars right behind you.
Andrew Gilliam showing a great turn of speed here, running 2 wheels down the grass on the main street before he turned into Cops. Scary stuff. This is a very tricky little one here, because you've got to turn slightly left, get on the brakes and go right, and it's almost like a double apex right because of this second part of it. It's very easy to run wide.
You can see how wide Gilliam is running on. You can see how wide Gilliam is running on the exit of Maggots as they kind of join on the back end of what would typically be Aintree corner on the full Grand Prix circuit. He's running it so wide out to the left-hand side to try and maximise the exit speed. He doesn't really save any time there, but the extra Ks an hour that he makes down that long Wellington straight, which is long by comparison for these cars with only a 4-speed transmission and only about 118 horsepower on tap, he's able to maximize the speed down that straight, and he's keeping that gap to the guys behind him. 1 minute 0.809 that time by for Gilliam. Will Lowing takes it again. 1 minute 0.622 that time across for the young driver in 6th.
Yeah, I'm just looking. We've got one sitting in the pits too, so that looks like Lachlan Taylor, who I'm going to guess Lachlan Taylor and Guy Leach are now a lap down. So I'm guessing they've got caught up in that mess first lap there, and that's one of the cars sitting there in pit lane.
How's this? Jack Mara and Damon Woods just tucking right into the slipstream, coming off the back of Ewan Baker, and neither of them wanting to make the move just yet. Down at Brooklands corner, and Mara getting a little bit of a better run on that inside line, but can't do anything with it as Daniel Byrne got the kittens switching places as they head into Luffield. Gets one up over David Gallo. Ocean Colangelo having a good run here to P14, down 3 spots from where she started after being P11 after qualifying, but not out of touch with the cars in front at the moment. Try and make something out of that.
Watching another monitor there, Lowing sideways all the way through Cops. It was beautifully held.
Aiden Schwacker, maybe not so beautiful.
Oh, I know. See, good on, just backwards.
There was another one going backward.
Full noise backwards.
So what happened here? Aiden Schwacker just, I think he might have got tagged.
And you watch in the background?
And then there's another one who, as we pick this up, here he is. There it is.
There he is. That's Kurt.
And that'd be Kurt Bond in the retro red livery, going backwards through Cops Corner, unfortunately for Kurt. He's going to rejoin
off the wall. He'll be fine.
Yeah, just lost a bit of track position. He'll rejoin down in 30th, though, behind Matt Morris holding P29, with only a handful of guys just in front.
It's just funny when you're looking at it and suddenly in the background you see one backwards just spearing straight across the field of view.
That's the nature of that corner, especially with this car, and that's going to put Aiden Schwackert way down the order from where he was. Down at 21st now. It's a shame, but he's still got time to make it up. We're not even at the halfway point yet of this sprint race. With still another 30-minute feature race yet to come. Here's the ever difficult exit off of Maggots before they make that little cut through and join the Wellington Straight. You can see Jack just doing everything he can to stay in the slipstream here off the back of Ewan Baker. Is he going to pull out and have a go under brakes? Had a little think about it, but decides to still stay in touch and sit right on that gearbox of Ewan Baker, as he's got two more tagging on the back of his train as well. Damon Woods and Caleb Heights in the fight too.
Yeah, it looks like they've made quite a little break there, this top five. They made quite a break over... is it Loewen? Has Loewen dropped off that? Yeah, he has. Loewen's dropped off this front battle. So he must have got caught up with a little mistake, and now he's got, unfortunately, he's got Bowden and Shepherd hard in tow, and they'll be fighting and not... If they work together, boys, if you get smart, work together, you can get yourself back up to that front pack. But it's very, very hard when you lose. Ooh, there's a 5-second penalty for Callan Arthur. And look at that. He's not even breaking a sweat in that suit. Looking so slick. Sponsors, man, in the boardroom, straight from the boardroom to the race car. Straight
out of the presentation for the quarterly financials into the Ray Racing Cars FF1600. Holding down P9 at the moment is Caleb Dawson for the 75 Sim Sports entry. Doing a pretty nice job of it. Just ahead of Tyler Blackburn in the 947 entry, and a whole snarling pack of cars lining up behind him as well.
I reckon Caleb Dawson might be getting married in the morning.
And you've got
or he might be at his wedding now. He just slipped out the back.
Yeah, race at 9 and a wedding at 9:30. Get it done. Yeah. How's this though? How's the pack? They've caught up onto the back of Andrew Gilliam, and they're going to have another crack at him here. Ewan Baker is going to get his nose in front, and he's going to lead this one up into Maggots. And he's on the outside just a little bit. Gilliam will slip through to the inside. How's this? 2 by 2 we go through onto the Wellington Straight.
I like the line that Woods had then. He ran it wide, slowed it down, gave a bit of room, and then got the speed on. Look at the result of this. He's now come from nowhere to lead because he gave them that corner. Now, Baker up the inside again, but I don't know, has he got up far enough? I think Woods is far enough up on the inside to be able to hang on to that. This is awesome racing, and you've got there now Andrew Gilliam, who was leading miles out by himself, back in third. There's not really a lot of room to go through. They're going to go 3 abreast all the way up the front straight now. Mara's back here in 4th with Hale now back to 5th. Hydes is into 4th. You see him jockeying for position. Look at that run that Hyde's got through there on the inside line as the other guys pushed each other wide. Whoa, interlocking wheels. That's dangerous stuff.
Yeah, that's sketchy territory there from Caleb Heights. He got a massive run through Cops Corner, and this could end in tears if they keep going like this, as he almost really forced the issue up to the right-hand side on the inside of Damon Woods. He's going to go side by side with Andrew Gilliam as they head down the Wellington Straight, and they're forcing everyone hard on the left-hand side. They're trying to box each other in here. Hyde's back to the outside. He's going to try around the outside of Damon Woods down at Brooklands.
I think Caleb is overdue for a win here. I'm going to say I really think Caleb Hyde's driven really well this season, and he's probably overdue for a win. So, oh, look, we're banging wheels here again. Stuck together. Oh, he's got a broken front suspension, I think.
Either that or they just fully jammed on each other and got the cars sticky wall to each other. Yeah, it did look like that might have been.
He's got a broken front suspension.
Yeah,
it's not steering great. The left-hand side is considerably shorter than the right-hand side. Looks like an indie project, doesn't it?
Something made for going around ovals only.
Look who's back in front. Andrew Gilliam, back in front again.
Oh, Caleb Hyde owns an ultra-wide line. He's trying to maximise the entry speed onto the Wellington Straight, but he had to go the outside of the curbing that sits on the exit of Maggots in that little cut-through. That cost him some speed and ultimately robbed him of the chance to make a run for it here. Gilliam back to the point. How's the fighting going on further behind as well? That was 3 wide. That was 3 wide for a moment. Luke Mitchison getting through there as well for P7. Dawson into P6. Oh, and some choice words being said on the inside of Luffield Corner as we cut to him. Dawson gets turned around.
And Caleb not looking happy.
No, I wouldn't be happy either if I was him right now. He was in a prime position right there to pick up some spots and unfortunately got turned at Luffield. Let's watch the replay here as Mitchison right behind him. They come out of Brooklands. Dawson has that inside line. And he just touched on the right-hand side of Mitchison, I think, and that turned the car.
I think he's got up on the curb and it's just sort of lost a bit of traction. That's what's happened. I don't think they touched. But
that's unfortunate at the least as we go back to the race lead with 3 minutes left to go. Gilliam from Woods out front. This time they go into Luffield Corner. Andrew Gilliam covering off that inside line beautifully on the entry into Luffield as they make their way out of Woodcote onto the main straight.
Yeah, so very, very tight at the front here, but and they're pretty set. It's very hard to get a run, and they sort of get 2 abreast, and then they all use each other's toe, and some swaps around, and then 2 minutes later they're back where they were again. So it's trying to get in front and hold that front position, pretty hard stuff. And I think Gilliam's done a really nice job tonight, although he's left a little hole there for Woods.
Woods is
up the inside. And he's got a good run.
He's not going to get the same run off this corner here. Gilliam's going to get the better drive to maximise the straight line speed. Caleb Hydes is going to be pushing Damon Woods all the way down Wellington Straight. Ewan Baker's going to try and thread the needle right up through them as well. You consider between Damon Woods and Andrew Gilliam, all 9 rounds have been won by just these 2 drivers. The closest that Caleb Hydes has come is 2nd place, both back at round 7 and at round 9 last time out.
Now it's just a run, and I think Gilliam's got it because he got better run off that last corner. I think he's got the speed. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? A gap of? What have we got? Nothing. So we still got a lap to go, Chris. Did we get a white flag then?
I don't think we did get a white flag, considering we're lapping in the minutes with only 1:20 left to go. So we're going to still be able to get around for 1 more and then see the white flag. Oh. So they're going to have another turn and having a crack at this down Wellington Straight.
Here they go.
How many can we fit into 1 corner, Dave? Can we see 3 wide under brakes into Brooklands?
Well, I've seen in the real thing 5 wide into there, so why can't we do 3?
Because this is sim racing. That ain't going to happen as Woods tries to sneak up the inside of
a little bit of a tap there again. They've touched wheels again.
So close to interlocking. So close to fully interlocking on the exit of Luffield. That hurts Woods now. And he's going to be...
Jack Mara just wants to get involved and there's nowhere to go. It's just they've got the whole road blocked.
And Barney's waving the white flag somewhere in amongst all of that fog and pollution and haze here at Silverstone. On the final lap, who's it going to be? Is that 4 wide up into Maggots?
Yes, it is.
Gilliam up over the inside curb. Hyde's trying to get the run here. He sneaks up to 2nd. Almost touches with Gilliam on the exit as they come onto the Wellington Straight. Now they're going to form these 2 freight trains. Jack Mara's sitting back watching this, just licking his lips, and they all get stuck into each other as they do. 3 wide down into Brooklands.
What's around the outside?
Oh, Hydes is into him. They take each other out. Oh, no.
Hydes and Woods, the teammates, have taken each other out. That's just such a pity. They'll be fine. They'll get back on the road. There wasn't a lot of damage. They'll get it going pretty quick. And I think they've got enough out.
They'll get it back together at least. But how about this?
Gilliam from Baker and Mara. that's a pretty good podium. Well done, boys. Great driving. And there's Hyde's through, and looks like Woods is going to come through a little later. So Hyde's has come through in fourth. And where did Damon Woods finish?
Right behind him,
fifth? Yeah, fifth. Okay, so there you go. And then it's Mitchinson, who's had a great run. And where did Ben Roberts got back into the top 10? So that's great to see too.
That's a good recovery from Benny Roberts there after a shocking start up at Maggots on the opening lap there. Here's the replay of the action down at Brooklands on the final lap here. There were 3 wide. Ultimately, Hydes was pinched. He tried to run it wide to avoid Gilliam, who was occupying that inside space. And unfortunately, 3 into the space of about 2.5 doesn't really work out. And Damon Woods paid the highest price of all. Caleb Hydes half got away with it to come home P4.
Yeah, it hasn't hurt them too much. They're off P4 and P5, so, yeah.
And that's just the sprint race, Dave. Still the 30-minute feature.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
Left to go.
That is, it is the best racing. This car just produces sensational racing. And the guys are really good. They do give room. These guys have been racing against each other all season. It looks like they're all coming to the green room.
Oh, they might be doing a bit of that. Here's a look at your results then from the sprint race. Andrew Gilliam taking the win from Ewan Baker across the line in second. Jack Mara picking up the pieces in third as Caleb Hydes and Damon Woods got stuck into each other for fourth and fifth. A decent recovery on the final corner for those two guys over Luke Mitchinson, Tyler Blackburn, Nathan Verney with a good run there to P8 over Brett Barker and Benjamin Roberts. We've got all 3 of our sprint race podium joining us here. So we'll start with your sprint race winner, Andrew Gilliam. Congrats, mate.
Whoa, what a race. Oh, that was mega. I think we're like 3 wide for like 4 laps in a row. That was insane.
Mate, what was going through your mind? You were parked on the inside, hard on the curbing into Brooklands on that final lap, watching it all unfold around you.
I was just like, don't crash. There was nothing more we could do other than brake as deep as humanly possible and see what happens. Like, that was so on the edge.
Awesome.
A great run. That'll put you on pole for the feature race. And we'd ask you what the strategy is, but it doesn't seem like it's really worth anything at the moment because it's just going to be the same kind of racing in the feature.
Yeah, it'd just be don't have a heart attack to start with. 30 minutes of that's going to be pretty stressful, but as Damon always says, I think we're usually a lot more chill in the first 15 minutes of these longer races, so hopefully we can settle back into a rhythm and then go hard again at the end.
Well, best of luck, mate, for the feature race. Ewan Baker, your thoughts on all the action in the final couple of laps there? It was a great battle.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to actually organise my thoughts after that. It was all over the place. There's not much strategy in that. It's just keeping the draft, and if you see a gap, just send it and hope for the best. Tried pushing Andrew at the end there down the back straight. Almost caused a massive accident, so I know not to do that again. And got a little bit lucky. I think bit of an incident, 2 corners to go, but sneaked through and second place. I think that might actually be my best finish in this series, so absolutely take that.
We'll have to go to the adjudicators on that one. Probably one of your best actual finishes overall for the series. Prior to that was 6th place back at round 8 at least. That shows us what you finished in the feature race, I believe, is what we see on this score sheet. So
should
best
be
of luck
third.
for the feature.
Yeah, 3rd feature race is Android, I think. But not that I'm keeping track. Thanks.
And then to very last and very quickly to Jack Mara, mate. It looked like you were actually trying to save yourself and maybe conserve a little bit, sit back and let them all take each other out in front of you.
Finish first you must finish. That was the approach we took. I was quite happy in my hot dog flavoured armchair out the back, having a good view of the 4 wide battles, think, who's going to crash first? That was awesome. Fantastic use of the hot dog caravan just to stay behind the
Chris,
toe.
typical New Zealand, looking for a free ride.
We love a free ride, but any free ride, we'll take it. Well, awesome. Looking forward to the feature. It's going to be more of the same, I think. Should be good.
That's fantastic. It looked like you really wanted to get involved, but the road was just solid with cars in front of you, and it's like, well, I can't really get involved. There's nowhere to go.
Oh, Dave, I was desperate to get involved, mate. Desperate to see a big accident in front of me and be a bit like Moses in the parting of the Red Sea at Brooklands as it happens.
Well, all the best in the feature. We'll look forward to it, and great showing from New Zealand, second and third.
Hey, look, there's something in the water over here, I tell you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I
Need
think
to
I
use
left
a
it there.
gain off.
All right, good luck, boys. We'll see you guys
Awesome.
in the feature race coming up in a couple of minutes.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Fingers crossed
guys.
we survive.
Great little replay there, then, Chris, too, of the incident in front from, I think we were riding with Jack Mara.
Plenty of action replays to come from that one. I'm sure if we could put together highlights packages from these races, we'd be very hard pressed to be able to whittle them down into something that is
You just-
bite-sized and
just play
consumable
the
for
whole
the
lot.
public. Just play the whole race.
Yeah, every race, whole race. There's your highlights package.
And that's it. Well, for one final time, we're going to get a 30-minute highlights reel for the final round of the RaceKraft Simulations Australian Formula 4 Championship eSeries, powered by FRG Esports, as we run down to the conclusion of the warm-up. Dave Roberts, it's time to go racing for 30 minutes for the final time in this season.
Ooh, have we got stamina for that?
I don't know, I'm feeling it right now.
It's pretty good, though. This is a good track. You can't get away. Yeah, it's that same thing where you've got the toe. It's always on. You can't really get away. I was going to mention, we've covered the top 10. We did that in the results. I want to mention there, P11, young Oliver Armott. Fantastic job again. These young guys who are coming on here, getting involved in racing against, the older guys, more experienced guys, and racing wheel to wheel with them in sim racing, where, if there is an accident, they'd have to pay $1 million to fix it. They're learning so much here that they can take out into the real world, and it's fantastic to see. And seeing young like Ocean Colangelo there, Oliver Armott, Justin Schweikert, it's great to see those guys, and I want to see more of you guys next year.
Yeah, it's invaluable experience. I'll get it spat out eventually. To pick you up here in the sim world and to be able to then apply that in your real world driving and help foster the young careers of many racing drivers looking to build their talents. So here we are then, 40 cars on the starting grid for 30 minutes here from Silverstone National, the final feature race of the season in the RaceKraft Simulations Australian Formula 4 Championship eSeries. We're away for 30 minutes of racing.
Yeah, what have we got here? Gilliam's made really good jump, and got 3-4 car lengths through turn one. Won't last for long though, Chris.
It certainly won't, as the whole field just manages to squeak through the first turn. Andrew Gilliam up to Maggots for the first time, just doing it nice and comfortably. And the boys did say in the green room between races just a moment ago, Dave, that a lot of them will take it rather conservative for the first 15 minutes. They just need to get to that part of the event before they really start racing it out, because if they start racing too hard too early, they're going to find themselves in a world of hurt.
I must admit, when you said maggots, I thought, yes, they do look like maggots. Streaming through the first corner there.
As they come through, we're right on board, looking back from Andrew Gilliam as he comes out of left field, zipping across the curbing, using some of that inside asphalt through Woodcote and onto the main straightaway for lap number 1 in the books for Andrew Gilliam. Ewan Baker sitting right behind in second. Look how sideways the cars get. The attitude on these things through turn 1 is just fantastic, as we got battle of the outfits. Who looks better, Brant Johnson in the center outfit or Caleb Dawson in the office attire, the professional outfit?
I am impressed that Brant Johnson's still got that hat on, because it must be bloody hot under that.
Oh man, I'd be steaming in that thing. Considering also he's in Perth, and I'm pretty sure he's local to somewhere like Midland or Guildford or something. And I'm pretty sure it gets a bit warm out there. He's nodding, so he's listening to commentary. I know he's local to Guildford, because that's where he's
off the road
in the coffee shop.
I was going to say, when he's nodding there, either that or he's off the road running across the rough.
Or he's just trying to flip the bauble on top of the fence and back in front.
My vote's going to Caleb Dawson for bringing some real class to the motor racing tonight in his beautiful is it a three-piece suit or a two-piece? I'd be very impressed if it was three.
Well, it'd be just like the kind of suit you wear on the Zoom meetings. No pants, just the shirt. Perfect. Benny Roberts on screen into P8 now. He's trying to make inroads back into the top few cars. He's got plenty of time to get there, Dave, but there's still a sense of urgency because he's seeing the guys up front. You can just see them from this shot looking over the top of the roll hoop. I love this shot on these cars as well. Bit of old school.
As long as he can stay in that lead draft pack, he's got a chance of getting to the front. Doesn't matter how far back he is, but if there's a big gap, we've got some damage back there. 2 or 3 cars.
Clean up turn 3.
Yep.
Brendan Martin, one of those caught up as well with the Locked On Banter Alliance Racing entry. How's this? 2 wide behind for 3rd and 4th. Baker and Hydes going after it as they come out of left field. Another one.
Blackburn and Mitchison. Blackburn. Very good.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job there, as we just saw Oliver Armit unfortunately facing the wrong direction, and he's going to continue to fall down. The order is now showing 27th, 28th on the racetrack. Brant Johnson has had issues as well. Brant got caught up in that incident. He's gone to the back of the bus, so Santa Claus won't be too happy with that one.
Caught delivering presents.
I'm sure he won't be nodding away, or whoever ran into him is going straight on the naughty list. As we pick up Luke Mitchinson, the Analytical Race on Oz Esports entry. A bit of a different livery there. It's a bit of old school.
I like it.
It's got a bit of that primer grey to it. It's kind of cool. He's the next in line there for Benny Roberts to try and dispatch of to move Benny up into P7. Tyler Blackburn just ahead in P6, and then your top 5 battle pack that was so impressive during the sprint race earlier.
So here we've got, where are we? 74 is Chris Barnes. Now we're back a little bit there, so Chris is back in. Let me have a look. Oh.
You're getting lost there. P11.
I am. P11. There we go.
P11. Aiden Schweikert back up into P12 after he had dramas in the sprint race. He's already up 7 spots here in the feature. Jackson Austin down behind him in P13, losing 1 spot there, and Paul Rogers somewhere in the mix of that group there in the 75 Sim Sports entry, up 4 spots where he is. Will Lowing is up 12 in the 53 car just at the back of the shot. There he is, Will Lowing, up 12 spots already here in the feature. He could be one of these young drivers to make an impact on the top 10.
Yeah, the other thing I'm looking forward to here, Chris, and we thought we may have had it tonight because there was rumour iRacing was going to do it, which was rain, and that would have made this the most authentic Silverstone you could have ever had if it was raining as well. It always rains here in November.
You have to add it to be true to the simulation of where you're racing, right? But unfortunately, they haven't added it to the server yet.
Yeah, so we thought they were going to release it. I know it's coming for the Formula Ford, is one of the first cars to get it, if not the first car to get it. And I've seen some trailers of it, and I've seen some live action of it, and it's pretty spectacular. It is really, really well done. But they're just taking their time because they want to release it and get it really right. But can you imagine this as well with a bit of rain in the UK? Oh my God.
Yeah, goodbye. If it's an official race, goodbye to your safety rating. But it's good to see it's making inroads and getting closer and closer to becoming a reality in the iRacing service. I know there's certain graphics settings now that are showing up on your graphics configurator, which are geared towards how the rain is represented depending on how powerful your system is. Oh, Aiden Schweikert up on the curbing down at Brooklands. Fires it into the side of Michael Cullen, who takes the shorter option to rejoin
a big slowdown for that.
Yeah, rejoins in front of Schweikert, who gave him a feed. So we'll certainly cop the slowdown on that one. But at least these cars are rather robust in this surface as well.
Yeah. Look, and then the real thing, you rub a bit of wheel, you have a bit of a bang. Sometimes they, get a little bit of airborne of somebody else's tyre, and a lot of the time you can continue on. They're pretty tough little jiggers.
Yeah, that's what happens when you still use a steel space frame and ERW tubing for your wishbones rather than carbon fibre and the very brittle materials that save just a couple of pounds of weight, as we pick up Andrew Gilliam and Damon Woods fighting it out at the pointy end of the field. We haven't even got through the first 10 minutes in this race yet. So Woods looking pretty handy at the moment there in second, but has to find a way past Andrew Gilliam, who, it must be said, looked really good through the sprint race to take the win before.
Yeah, and these 5 guys have got that same little break. They've just got a little bit of break, but in 6th place now is Ben Roberts. If he can bridge that gap. Sorry, I got my daughter's chasing a cockroach around the room here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's called warm summer weather in Brisbane. But yeah, if he can bridge that gap, he'll be right into this, and I think he's got every chance of doing it.
Here's Benny Roberts on screen. The simrigs.com DPR entry has broken away from the guys further behind. Mitchinson, Blackburn, Verney, and Barker rounding out your top 10. There's the next 4 guys behind Benny Roberts. He finds himself in this bit of no man's land, checking on his lap times. 1 minute .694 last time by. The next car up the road, Jack Marrow, who's sitting at the tail end of the freight train out front. 1 minute .810. The gap sits at 1.2 seconds at the moment, so there's still plenty of time to try and close that gap down. And just like that time by Jack actually pulls a little bit away from Benny Roberts, just to the tune of about 9/100ths of a second. But Benny sitting there nicely, looking to see if he can try and close the gap to the top 5.
Yeah, the good thing is he's got a clear road, he's got clear track in front of him. You know, he's got no one blocking his view of the apex or braking points. So probably should be making less mistakes than the guys in front running in a pack. So hopefully.
Well, sometimes when you're by yourself, that can be the time where you make the most mistakes, especially if you've got the eyes on trying to close the gap to the cars in front with not many reference to base your positioning off. Can be some of the more challenging things you do on track. Here is Tim Harris in the Hot Dog Appreciation Club entry, just trying to defend from Jackson Austin to hold on to P13 here. Austin tried to go up the inside back at Brooklands and then chooses the outside line out of Woodcote onto the main straightaway here. Harris will hold on to this spot for now, but some very tidy battles going on for these remaining spots.
Well, we'll run wide there.
That was Jackson Austin as well and truly off the track there. So I'm not sure what happened down at Cox for him to run that far wide. Maybe just missed the corner, missed the braking marker, and shot the car on in a straight line as Harris gets all up over the inside curbing up at Maggots, trying to shorten the racetrack as much as possible, rotate the car across the curbing to get on the power a little bit earlier with the wood grain. He's got the wood grain.
The
Woody bolted on.
The Woody.
Luke finding something quite amusing.
Whose photo is on the front of that?
There's a photo on the front of the car.
There's a photo on the front of the car.
Oh, I reckon it's going to be...
Yep, there you go.
Oh, it's National Lampoons, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So
there you go.
Harris having a bit of fun with deliveries. I love it. It's between that and the hot dog. We've got a bit of a
hot dog,
round
the suit
audience.
and Santa.
Yeah.
It's good.
We've got some excitement.
Love to see the guys having a bit of fun and just enjoying their motor racing. You know, it is good fun out there.
Well, it's the fun stuff that you can do in here that you can't really do in the real world of motorsports. You can't rewrap a car every time you want to race it, but in iRacing, just chuck another TGA file at it. Have some fun. Make it your own and stand out from a crowd. And Tim Harris in the Hot Dog Appreciation Club is really promoting... Is he just promoting the Christmas movies? Just pushing it out there, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You know, December 12th, just getting a bit of awareness going there, telling people to watch the movie. I heard it was one of your favourites, Dave.
A little bit of a gap here, but opening between Woods and Hydes. Only a couple of tenths, but you got to watch that doesn't get any wider.
No, that's the job that's been saddled onto Caleb Hydes right now, as he's got Ewan Baker and Jack Mara tucking in behind. I love the overhead shot a moment ago there, seeing the gaps from the top few cars. Let's look at Damon Woods. He's using all of that exit road, trying to maximise the car speed on the exit of the corner, and that gives him a big run, helped a bit by the toe down Wellington Straight, but then he's not doing anything with it. He's just tucking in behind. and letting Gilliam go the defensive line down at Brooklands. They'll tuck in back behind. 18 minutes to go here in your feature race for the RaceKraft Simulations Australian Formula Ford Championship eSeries. Ocean Colangelo up the inside of Aiden Schwackert. Very nicely done. And a
Battle
good
of the
piece
young guns.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good piece of driving there from Aiden to slice across the gearbox of Ocean and just tuck right in, back in behind to sit P16.
Interested to see where you're placing the car on the road and that sort of thing now. Culling up the inside, is it? Trying to make a run. It's really hard to get a run. It depends on where that car in front sits as to who gets the tow from behind too.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get an advantage on this track at all, really, because even cutting the inside line, the traditional, best practice racing line, it really doesn't help with your momentum around a track like this. And I actually noticed during pre-qualifying with experimenting with some different racing lines, there's benefits to running wide and carrying the corner speed and keeping the momentum up off the corner.
Oh,
so
wide.
You can easily go ultra wide like that and still not really pay too much of a price, although running in the dirt's going to slow you down, as Nathan Verney is about to learn the price that he'll pay for that and potentially lose out to Barker, or at least that'll bring Barker in to put the pressure on from Brett right behind.
It looks like Ben Roberts is not being able to catch these front guys. He's now 2.2 seconds behind.
Yeah, 1 minute 0.5 from Jack Mara last time by. Benny Roberts 1 minute 0.8 in his own clean air is not good enough to try and close the gap. In fact, it continues to expand out as the smartest looking man on the racetrack, Caleb Dawson, continues chipping away at the problem. He's up 12 spots from where he was, so having a decent run at it here into P14 after that unfortunate spin during the sprint race. Was it during the sprint race?
Yep.
And he finds himself right on the back of Tim Harris in the Beige Brigade hot dog appreciation entry.
Can we get a bit closer?
Yeah, I reckon he could just lean on the sway bars there from Damon Woods on the back of Andrew Gilliam into Cop's corner. Geez, they're maximising the track limits out there, really pushing the envelope. It'll penalise you if you drop a wheel. It's the centre line of the wheel over the edge of the curbing, so you've got to be really cautious when you're starting to push that hard. But you can't afford not to push right now with everyone running so close in this top 4, top 5 bracket of the cars. Caleb Hydes has the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 0.421 for Caleb. That was a couple of laps to go last time by 1 minute 0.5s for your top 3 drivers.
It's a very much a repeat of the heat race, Chris, with these 5 guys out front and making that little bit of a breakaway. The same sort of group there. Roberts has come up through, obviously, but Mitchison, Blackburn, Verney, Barker, the same sort of group there on that second group. And then Will Owings be able to sort of fight his way back through there to the sort of back end of the top 10. And Kurt Bond having a good run for his 40. I noticed he was 40th on the grid for the start of this race, now in P22. Oh, there's a touch and a couple off. So that is Lockie Taylor.
And who was the other one? It was Braden Martin. Caught up in that one too.
It was just a little bit clumsy, unfortunately.
Yeah, see the replay here. Who was it? It was Martin up the inside. Oh, yep, got the overlap going. And then it was actually Taylor's left rear bit the right rear of Martin that spun him around down at Brooklands, and he had to do the full 360 loop to rejoin the track. Unfortunately, that sees them both down in 30th and 31st on the racetrack, respectively, as your race leaders come onto the main straightaway, probably about 800 metres behind the cars we were just chatting about, Lockie Taylor and Braden Martin. Wouldn't be too far off from going about a lap down to these guys very soon, as these guys continue fighting it out. Andrew Gilliam, Damon Woods, Caleb Hydes right there in third as well. Ewan Baker in P4 and Jack Mara rounding out that top 5 as Damon just tries a bit of a different strategy to get through maggots. You saw him drop off. He braked earlier, then closed up through the middle of the corner. And then it's about even pegging coming off the corner as they make their way onto the Wellington straight. It's got to be frustrating at some point sitting behind for so long with not really any method of making any change to that.
Just waiting for someone to make a mistake. That's all you're doing. And it only needs the smallest little mistake, and then it's on for young and old again.
Well, we found ourselves into the second half of the race, and we know these guys like to just play it a bit conservative in the first half. 12 minutes 40 left on the clock for your 30-minute feature race, and we could start to see some pretty feisty battles heating up at the pointy end of the field.
The gap now to Ben Roberts is 2.4. So he's about the same. He's just not being able to close that in.
He put his best personal best lap of the race in just a moment ago. 1 minute 0.593 from Benny Roberts. That said, minute 0.3 from Gilliam to be the fastest lap of the race. Not bad in clean air.
That was an amazing piece of avoidance.
Quick thinking from David Woods. What happened here? So Brant Johnson,
centre.
And what's he done here? He's spun it down here at Brooklyn.
Centre's lost his sleigh.
Yep, by himself. Now he's parked up, and oh my goodness, the parting of the seas.
That was phenomenal. God, if Luke can get us on board with Damon Woods, that would be fantastic for a replay.
Oh, I'm sure he's got
every
camera possibility.
Here we go. So he's right in the toe. And as they turn in, he's gone, sugar, nothing I can do. Oh, that was a beautiful little bit of driving.
Very quick thinking from Damon Woods to dodge the incident and stopped himself from going into the back of Andrew Gilliam, because I think that would have been the other possibility as well. Could have taken both of them out, and they would have cleaned up Brant Johnson in the process and handed the lead over to the likes of Ewan Baker, who, you never know, might have also got caught up in the incident. So great piece of avoidance from Damon Woods to drop that. He's dropped back to P4 as a result. And that leaves Caleb Heights as your race leader.
He was obviously just a little distracted there by the fact that Gilliam was right up under Gilliam's gearbox, which took a little bit of his view away, but he was really concentrating on that, I think, and got caught out a little bit by Santa sitting backwards in the middle of the corner.
How's this for Caleb Hydes? Leading the way now with Andrew Gilliam hot on his heels as they head up into Maggots, hard on the brakes, and Hydes covers off that line nicely to keep Gilliam back there in second. Just runs it wide, almost trips over one of the lap cars. That's Lockie Taylor, I believe, going a lap down to your leaders. And now Caleb's, for the first time, finding himself in clean air, punching a hole in it for everyone else to drive through, with Damon Woods trying to close up and get back into this fight.
Hydes was loose as a goose down the turn 2, so the car was very, very loose on entry. So he managed to hang on to it, but now we've seen Woods get that outside run, and he's got that corner speed on the exit there. But Gilliam runs it up over the curb on the inside, which is a quick little way of getting around there. Just manages to chop across and take the entry into Cops away from Gilliam. Boy, they're not leaving a lot in this.
They're operating with some very thin margins right now. Ben Roberts sitting back there in 6th, just wishing he could get involved in this battle with these 5 cars, as Jack Mara, again, living up to the old prophecy and the old saying, must you finish first? Well, first, you just have to bloody well finish. And he's probably going to sit there and watch it all unfold until the very last minute, like he did in the sprint race when the leaders took each other out right here at Brooklyn's corner. As Ewan Baker gets up the inside of Andrew Gilliam, finds himself on the outside at Luffield. And here's Mara on board with the Scuderia DSR Snacker Changi, the hot dog. Just doing his best hot dog caravanning efforts to tag on to the back of this battle pack. Sitting in P5 right now.
Yeah, Chris, Ben Roberts has got that gap down to below 2 seconds. A minute ago, he was 2.4, 2.5 seconds behind. And that little bit of battling that they had there and the little bit of issue with that tail ender, Ben Roberts now got that gap down to, well, it's dead on 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. 2 seconds at the moment.
Pulled in 0.3 of a second off the back of Jack Murray. You look at the lap times. Caleb Hyde's minute 0.9, Damon Woods minute 0.8, then 101.0, 101.2, 101.1 for the remainder of the top 5. Benny Roberts, a 1 minute 0.7, was the quickest of the top 6. So he has the pace to try and close the gap. He just needs these guys to keep fighting to be able to close this up and get involved in the battle himself.
Yeah, and the trouble for him, it's like a carrot just sitting there, just out of reach, and he just cannot get to it. So, but if those guys start battling, it won't take more than a lap, and they'll all be together. So let's hope they battle, because the more the merrier.
Yeah, we just add a 6
Christmas.
car in there. Get the merry half dozen of fighting it out for the race lead. Brett Barker on screen, currently holding P10 on the racetrack, rocking the lovely canary yellow official AFFC livery for this eSeries. He's just ahead of Will Lowing, who's sitting back there in P11. There's a split car there. That is Oliver Armit, I believe, is out of position in that group. Showing up right behind him, but not on with time. Armit down in 39th position, unfortunately down 28 spots from where he started. He's trying to circulate and get a finish tonight to try and just punctuate the end of this championship for young Ollie Armit.
I'm just checking on our mate Kurt Bond there. He's now up to P21, so Kurt's a good mate of mine. I always keep an eye on where he is. So there he is on screen, battling hard as always, and we'll be having an absolute ball and bitching about everybody.
A typical sim racer then. There's a big lose to the 35. Wow.
Save.
John Baldwin getting it well crossed up down at Brooklands, almost fired it into the side of Kurt Bond's entry.
It's a big lose, but it's an even bigger save. That's just phenomenal.
He's still got the lock on to turning it into the corner too. He's actually still pointing it to the inside before he gets a little bit of offy lock on and saves the car. Big moment there from John Baldwin to hold on to that one. Here's the onboard.
Short after that one. That was very well held.
He might have just grabbed the handbrake on the old drifting rig setup by accident there on the way into the corner. Just saved it.
Around the outside here of Woods. He's got good corner speed. Can he get this? Can he get this done down the start-finish line? Now he should pick up the toe there from Gillian. He gets a bit of toe. He might get by Woods down to the nut. Woods is back in front again.
Yeah, that straight just not quite long enough to really maximise the toe. You can get a little bit up this side straight on the exit of Cops, heading up towards Maggots. But then the biggest advantage of the toe you can really get on the Wellington straight, but it hasn't really proven to be much of a help. Really, you can't get the toe and then just pull out and pass the guy in front. Otherwise, we would have seen a lot more lead changes with these Formula Fords. As you can see, they're all going to get in the toe behind Gilliam and just form an orderly queue heading down towards Brooklands. Luke just giving us a jib in the background. We need a bigger straight, longer straight like we do on the Kemmel straight.
Right, because there's no toe.
No toe. Ewan Baker holding third right now, just watching this. Woods is actually looking really racy with a good run coming off of Luffield. Closes right up onto the back and tries to go around the outside of Andrew Gilliam. Gosh, that's sketchy. They got so close to making contact. Tyre on tyre, just almost rubbing sidewalls as Woods is going to try and hold that outside line up through Maggots. He's going to try and keep the momentum up through the exit of the corner. Just parks the car on that inside curving, and it's going to pay dividends because he has the run and is going to almost sneak in front. They're almost overlapping wheels. They're 3 wide down the Wellington straight. Caleb Hydes is sitting back there licking his chops. Hydes with a big lick at the stamp and sending it. He slots into second, but he's on the outside line, and Luffield is going to lose the spot.
You're back, and now here comes Baker through the inside of Hydes as well. These guys are just having a ball.
How good is the racing? Now is the go time for the battles. One last look at Santa and the senior vice president of 75 Sim Sport himself, Caleb Dawson, having a good run there. Up into P11 now, almost knocking on the door of a top 10 run, back up 15 spots from where he started.
Look happy, Caleb. It's Christmas, mate.
He's got the eyes on, mate. Not possible when you've got the eyes on in game. How about this battle, though? Oh,
Oh, look, here
Gilliam.
they go again. It is.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Woolworths car park on Christmas Eve, doesn't it? It's just crazy.
Just everyone fighting for their own at the moment. Caleb Hydes almost came to grief up there at Maggots, and now it looks like Ewan Baker's going to mount a charge. He's going to try and get up the inside of Hydes at Brooklyn's corner as Gilliam tries to go side by side with Woods, who has the inside line at Luffield. Oh, crossed up across the
Was that a
curbing.
big cross up? That's that inside curve that we saw somebody else trip up on earlier. That's that curve. It just unsettles the car, Chris. Now, Wood's taken that really tight inside line to the fence, which I know is worth about a tenth of a second. So that should give him a bit of speed, but Gilliam using a bit of grass on the entry again on the outside. They can run a little bit wide here, get away with it. This is craziness. Boys, just sort it out. There's a car park for everyone.
He's going to have the outside and then the inside into Maggots. Just needs to hold his ground and try and get the drive off the corner. He's going to
good drive
on by. He did get a really good drive off there, but this is where the momentum will come back in the favour of Andrew Gilliam as they hit the Wellington Straight. Although it doesn't seem to have worked out, Ewan Baker is going to try and go between them, making it 3 wide. Caleb Hydes now goes to the outside of these guys, and look at Mara. He's just sitting back watching this thinking, you guys are crazy.
I think he needs to swap the hot dog for a popcorn, because this is certainly worth watching.
Cheaper down at the local Greater Union as well for the popcorn instead of the hot dogs these days, as we bring it on to the main straightaway. That was a tag at the fence.
Yes, I think he tagged the fence there, and then Gillian's had to jump out the way, and now Andrew's gone from 1 second ago leading to now be 5th.
Oh, he's lucky to not have...
So I don't know what happened there, but we've got a replay here now.
Watch this from Damon Woods. He finds it up the inside, a little bit too close to the fence. He actually almost had a swapper on.
Did he get touched?
We have to see the angle from behind to see for K. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's a little tap from Andrew Gilliam that almost undid all of that hard work for these boys. And Woods got away with it the easiest. Andrew Gilliam paid the price. He dropped back to P6 now. Benny Roberts is in the fight. So flying in under the radar with a minute to go. Here comes Benny Roberts.
So Roberts now in the top 5. He's disposed out Andrew Gilliam back 1 as well. That's awesome to see. And I see my mate, Kurt Bond, up into 18, into the top 20. Great drive, Kurt. Keep it going, boy.
Here we go then. White flag out from Barney the flag man for the final lap of the competition. And it is Damon Woods who leads the way. It's going to be a massive last-ditch effort from Caleb Hydes to try and make an impact on this race lead. Ewan Baker right behind him. There's a bit of lap traffic just further up the road. Could that help to get Hydes and Baker up onto the top step of the podium perhaps? Or is Damon Woods going to punctuate the championship with the final round?
He's round.
Off the road. That's unfortunate for Andrew. Here comes Ewan Baker up the inside of Caleb Hydes down at Brooklands. Goes for the late move to try and send it up the inside, but he's going to find that outside line. Trying to make it happen, but it is going to be Damon Woods punctuates winning the championship by taking out the feature race here at the final round. Woods wins at Silverstone here in the feature race. Caleb Hydes across the line in 2nd. Ewan Baker through for 3rd. Jack Mara P4 and Benny Roberts back to P5. What a race. Andrew Gilliam
6 and Will Lowing, great drive through there to 7.
That's up 20 spots for Will Lowing. A very, very tidy drive there from Will. Luke Mitchinson to P8. Caleb Dawson, very nice job.
Come on, Kurt.
P9. Kurt Bond coming across P18. That's still up 22 spots from P40 on the grid. It's a very good night at the races.
I think you will have had fun tonight. That sort of drive, really good. Just keeps Kurt's very good at keeping his head and keeping all calm behind the cockpit. So that's where he takes the win there. So that was great racing night. That's the last of the Formula Fords we're going to see for the year. Looks like I can't say anything because nothing's done, but I believe we'll be back next year. But maybe slightly different format, maybe something different rather than just once a month. We don't know. But that was some superb racing. It's been superb racing all season. And I've really enjoyed seeing some of those young guys really just picking up pace, Chris, and becoming really competitive at the front of the field.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to watch the development through this championship as Damon Woods claims the final round of the Racecraft Simulations Australian Formula Ford Championship eSeries after taking the championship win as well. So congratulations going to Damon for underscoring the championship win with the final round here. Caleb Hyde's coming across the line in second. Ewan Baker in third from Jack Murrah, and Benjamin Roberts rounding out your top five. Tell you what, it was a good night at the races for Will Lowing, up 20 spots to go P7, right behind Andrew Gilliam in the 6th spot. From Mitchinson, Dawson, Rogers, your top 10. Then Ocean Colangelo up 9 spots from where she started in the feature race. From Michael Cullen, Tim Harris, and Guy Leach ties for a 3-way tie as the hard charger of the night, going up 22 spots from where he started to finish P14, tied with Daniel Bird in P16 and Kurt Bond in P18. All three of those guys up 22 spots at the end of the race.
I am going to give a nod here to Caleb Dawson wearing that suit through the whole race and finishing in the top 10 in P9. Superb effort, mate. Well done. Really enjoyed it. And he looks like he enjoyed it too.
I'm surprised that there's not a serious stain or at least a sweat patch on that nice pressed white business shirt that Dawson has donned for the final round here. So congratulations to him with a great run. We've got a few guys lining up in the green room here, including one Andrew Gilliam as well, which is exciting. So we'll bring those guys in as we'll drop a few of them into our broadcast studio. And we may as well start with your victor tonight, and officially locked and loaded, confirmed as your series champion for the Racecraft Simulations Australian Formula Ford Championship eSeries. Congratulations to Damon Woods.
That was one hell of a way to finish the championship. That was an insane battle between the top 5 there. So it was very close racing, but I'm glad I came out on top.
Mate, you're very lucky you came out at all after that minor bump drafting incident with Andrew coming onto the front straight just a few minutes left in the race. That looked pretty sketchy.
Yeah, I was pitched towards the wall for a second there. All I saw was a guardrail, and it was quite scary, but luckily was able to gain control of the car before spearing into it, which was pretty handy.
And coming upon the Sandgroper car backwards down at Luffield was a bit of a exciting moment as well.
Yeah, I was half a car width out behind Andrew, and then I think he had a little wobble, not knowing where the car that spun was going to go, so he kind of like moved it up the track a little bit, and then I reacted to that, and I was aiming straight for the side pods, so I had to bail out and go wide and hope that I didn't clip his wheel, but yeah, thankfully didn't, and was able to get back onto the train.
The tiniest little touch there.
Well, we made it work.
Yep.
Big effort, mate. Congratulations taking out tonight's feature race and the championship here, thanks to Racecraft Simulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll come back around. We'll go to second place tonight. Caleb Hydes. Congratulations, mate.
Oh, thank you, boys. Wasn't too bad, was it?
You have a bit of fun out there?
Yeah, it was good. Me and Damon didn't touch each other this feature race, so yeah, that was good.
Mate, good racing. We thought you might have been on track for potentially a win, but Damon just likes to ruin the party pretty late in the piece for those ones.
Yeah, usually. But oh well, still got a podium, so I can be happy.
And looks like third place in the championship as well, getting that wrapped up. So congratulations to you, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Overall, it's pretty good considering where we were at the start of the season. We had pretty much no luck, so yeah, it's been good to bag off some podiums across the second half of the season. So yeah, overall, good effort.
Great job, mate. We'll come back around for the thank yous in just a sec. We'll go to third place in tonight's race. Ewan Baker, congratulations, mate.
Oh, thank you very much.
Pretty sketchy fun out there, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You know, there's only one place to come if you want crazy action, and it's this series. I mean, it has delivered every single round, you know, night in, night out. So yeah, it's been fantastic, and what a way to cap it off.
And what's really good is that much close racing, that hard, wheel rubbing, all sorts of things, but very few accidents because you guys have all been so respectful of each other, and it's just been a joy to watch.
Yeah, it's judged to perfection, really. I mean, we came so close to having a massive accident multiple times, but as a thing, we came close, but didn't cross that line. It was all beautifully done. So yeah, it's really great to be able to race so close with people, and at this point race with people that you can trust, because we've been doing this most of the year at this point, and yeah, you can just go hard, and you're going to make it across the line more often than not.
Yeah, fantastic. It's been an absolute joy to watch.
No, it's been an absolute joy to drive in and be a part of. So yeah, no, fantastic, and glad to cap off the season with 2 podiums, ending on a high.
Excellent. And we might see you back next season then, by the sounds of it.
Oh, it's too much fun. I can't stay away, can I?
That's the way. We'll come back to you in just a second, because I want to drop a special one in here with Andrew Gilliam, who's joined us in the broadcast room. Not a podium result tonight. It all kind of came unstuck right at the end there, but still a big night at the races to wrap up second in the championship, mate.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to get P2 in the championship. Damon was too good and consistent this year, but no, it was awesome fun racing tonight.
Bit of a sketchy moment when you gave Damon the old love tap across Woodcote coming onto the main straightaway there. You ultimately paid the biggest price out of it, though.
Yeah, I was like, Damon and I have been racing so hard, but we haven't touched each other like all year. And when that bump draft pitched him straight in the fence, I was just gutted. I was like, oh my God, I've just killed the champion-elect in the last race. I was like so focused on watching him and making sure that he like stayed the car and didn't have a broken front right. I drove off into the slow down the left. Like I didn't want to take the leader out like that right at the end. But that all worked out. I think that's fair, taking P6 after that one.
The old self-penalty comes across pretty astute, mate. So well done to you, and congratulations wrapping up second in the championship. You're gonna get the first honours of the thank yous for this evening.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the guys at Altus Esports, VRS, Racetech, and make sure you check out our Altus Engineering packs available on VRS. And just thank you guys, Race Control and commentators, for a fantastic season. This has probably been the best one I've ever had on iRacing, so thank you guys.
Thank
Excellent.
you, mate.
Great to hear.
We'll then go to third place tonight. You and Baker, who do you have to thank, mate?
Big thanks as always to the team, Kiwi Sim Racing, and our sponsors Speed Nation, Scott Technology, and Inspire.net. And yeah, just to reflect, Andrew, big thanks to everyone at FRG for putting on such an awesome series, everyone here and Racestars and putting on a fantastic broadcast, and just thanks to everyone that took part, because like I say, it's been an absolutely mega season, every race.
Great stuff, mate. Thank you. And to Caleb Hides.
Just big thank you to obviously you guys, everyone behind the scenes running all this cool stuff. Racestars running the broadcast, and I don't know, I guess these 3 fine gentlemen for sharing the racetrack this year. It's been fun.
Great work, mates. And then on to your series champion and final round winner, Damon Woods. Who do you have to thank, mate, for the final time this season?
As always, I've got to thank my sponsors, Apex Steel, Aviation Component Services, JV Racing, Synergy Race Engines, and Dave's Decals. I've got to thank the FRG boys for putting on a brilliant championship as always, so thank you to them. Boys in the commentary booth, broadcast wouldn't be anything without you boys, and same with Luke doing the camera work, so big thanks to you boys, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to compete in the championship, especially competing in the real life version, so yeah, awesome season.
That's fantastic.
Well, Chris, have we told him he's got to run a Formula V next year?
In the same class? No, we haven't.
Yeah.
We're going to keep that as a surprise.
All right, yeah, I haven't got that.
We're actually petitioning iRacing for a performance success ballast to start piling on.
He said yes.
So, congratulations, guys. It's been a stellar season watching you guys fight it out across all 10 rounds of this RaceKraft Simulations Australian Formula Ford eSeries. It's been a highlight of our Tuesday night activities here on Racestars TV, so it's all thanks to you guys for the efforts.
Yep, and from Formula Ford Australia or Formula Ford Association Australia, to all of you, thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for doing such a professional job, presenting yourselves, your cars, everything in a manner that is really, a credit to you all. So thank you very much. Great season. Really look forward to next year. A couple of small changes I think we're talking about making, maybe a little bit smaller grid. But there's some great new tracks out there. I don't know who's driven the new Italian circuit, but it's bloody good in a Formula Ford.
Oh, the new Mugello circuit. I haven't tried it in a Formula Ford yet, so
it's very
I'll
good.
have to give that a crack. Well, it's been a great series of racing here on Racestars TV. Thanks again for the final time to the Formula Ford Association and to RaceKraft Simulations for being your partnering sponsors and supporting this championship. And of course, thanks to everyone behind the scenes. That's Rue Koistra, Lockie Capel, Ty Ratcliffe, Luke from Racestars TV, yourself, Dave Roberts as well, for your efforts in the background. It has been a pleasure to be part of this Tuesday night activity, and I'm sure you can stay tuned across FRG and find out more about what's coming up very soon. I'm sure there's going to be some pretty exciting announcements, and make sure you stay in touch.
We might take a little break over Christmas first. We're exhausted.
Sure. You absolutely deserve it. So we're not done yet on Racestars TV. We are due to be back next Tuesday night.
Yes.
So keep an eye out on your streams as well for the final round of the FIA F4 Motorsports Australia Esports Cup. That'll be
back here
a fun,
at Silverstone.
fun one. Yes,
here at Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit in the F4s.
On the full circuit as well. Same time, same place, same channel. Until next week, good night.